Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. It is December 2nd here. I'm in Indiana and working my way south. It's bright and early in the morning, fixing to start my pre-trip and reshooting this video. I deleted it in the middle of an upload last night, or deleted the other one in the middle of an upload last night. I don't know why I did that. I'm not a professional YouTuber, obviously. So, last time I made a video, I was up in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Got into there pretty early, got unloaded. Thought about heading back to the house for Thanksgiving. From there, it was about 300 miles. But I got unloaded so early, I said, I might as well give it till noon to see if I can find something reasonable. And I did, because I really didn't want to deadhead 300 miles, kill a week sometimes when you do stuff like that. But sometimes you got to do it. But, so, I found a load near Fargo, right across the Minnesota, right in Minnesota from North Dakota side, going to Minneapolis. It was a heavy load, weighed like 44,000, some change. Went to Minneapolis, went right near our drop yard there. So, I grabbed it up, got into some snow with it, picked it up. That first round of snowstorms last week, got into that with it. And so that was fun. Woke up with about 8 inches of snow where I was, because I was going to try to get it to the customer that night. It'd only been a 250-mile run. Started snowing really bad there around St. Cloud area, and so I shut her down, and woke up the next morning, had to dig myself out a little bit, because when they plow the truck stop, they leave if they don't do it right, they leave a nice little snowbank in front of your truck, so I had to dig that out. That was always fun. That last 60 miles the next morning was interesting too, because they did not do a very good job of getting the whole route. There were certain areas where the road was beautiful. They had done a great job, but there was about a 10-mile stretch there on 494 where it was a skating rink, and there was cars in the ditch everywhere there. So anyway, got done with that little short run. So I got back to the drop yard on Wednesday. I got that load, the short load, unloaded. Paid really good for 250 miles. Definitely made it worth the 113 deadhead on it. But, short load should pay really well, because the potential for hassle is there. And, well, you know how that can go. So if you're on a load that pays $400 and you get tied up in a bunch of hassle, then you're going to wish you'd got paid better. But anyway, it was a good paying load for what it was. And it's definitely, saved me a decent amount of fuel for deadheading back empty. But anyway, so I got back to the yard Wednesday morning, probably about 10 o'clock. They said, hey, we got a guy that needs a load picked up, another owner-operator, to get him home, but he's not going to be here in time to get it picked up because the place is closing. So I said, okay, I'll go pick it up, and I got $75 for doing that. I definitely would not do that unless it was trying to help somebody out, because it was 16 miles both ways. It took about 2.5 hours from the time I left the yard to the time I brought it back. It's like $30 an hour. As an owner-operator, $30 an hour doesn't cut it, but it was okay. I try to help people out, when I can. So I wasn't too upset about what I made on it, because honestly, I was gonna just go to the house anyway. So it did add a little bit of money to the week, and it actually worked out for me even better in the long run, because I liked those loads, and something happened. He never even made it to it. So when I come back in Friday, that trailer was still sitting on the yard. And so I asked dispatch, I said, hey, what's going on with that trailer out there? Did he not show up? And they said they had to change plans and because of the weather, to get him home. So I was like, hey, let me run that down there and drop it, because I like those loads. They're that one weighed like 8,500 pounds, and it's already loaded, so I ain't gonna go get it loaded. And so yeah, I got hourly pay to go get it loaded, and then they let me run it down there. Those are like 380 miles. They go into Illinois, kind of in a rural part of Illinois. I like those runs, though. They're, you really don't have to deal with no major cities. Once you get out of Minneapolis, it's high speed all the way. So I was glad I got that. And then I got that down there on Friday night. Let's see. Yeah, that was Friday night. So, okay, I got it wrote down backwards here. What was confusing me is, okay, so out of Chicago, I pulled a load of mail back up to St. Paul. I actually had a different load booked, and the guy calls me and says, hey, that's not going to be ready till Monday. And I'm just thinking to myself, why do you put it available on a load board if it's not ready till Monday? And I know it's not the broker doing that, it's the customer, but the broker needs to talk with the customer more. There needs to be better communication on that stuff, because that kills me when that happens. You're sitting there, you get everything planned out, you're looking at your fuel stops, you're looking at where you're going to stop for the night, and you get it all laid out, and then you get a call and they say, hey, that's not going to be ready till Monday. And I'm like, well, I'm not setting Friday night till Monday morning on a load that's, honestly, it was just an average load. It wasn't anything special. Wasn't going to any, I just picked the load up because it was, the best paying thing I could find. It was in my, 500 to 1,000 mile range I try to stay in. So they called, they canceled. So I kind of was stuck on a Friday, like late Friday, and, we're talking right at 5 o'clock when, brokers start wrapping it up and going home. And, so yeah, I called the company right before everybody left, said, hey, this is my situation. I don't want to sit here till Monday. I'm not going to sit here till Monday. I told that guy, I said, well, that ain't happening. So you can find somebody else to do that. They understood, you can't set 2 days to pick up an average load. But anyway, it worked out pretty good. I found a good paying load that picked up the next morning. Picked up Saturday morning, going back to St. Paul. Load of priority mail out of Chicago. That paid pretty good. That was actually a dedicated route that they needed covered. That was the first day it was starting, and they just needed somebody to cover it for one route, one day, while the guy who was going to be doing it all the time could get into position to get on that dedicated run. Not a bad run. The load paid really good. I don't think it pays that good on an average. I think it pays that good because that broker needed that covered at the last minute, and I love it when it works out like that. It's when people need you, that's when you can get paid. And considering it was Friday night, they knew they were going to have a hard time finding somebody that was going to be there Saturday morning. So it just worked out to my advantage this time. They actually, they were in a position where they needed somebody. I ran it. The weather was pretty bad the whole way. So basically from Wisconsin to St. Paul, it was snowing. A lot of ice pellets in Wisconsin. It was the second round of the snowstorm. I went back for more. I had to go back for seconds. That'll probably be on my tombstone. Went back for seconds. But yeah, I had to go back up there and get in it again, and made it fun. Wisconsin was pretty rough there. That last hour of Wisconsin from Eau Claire to the Minnesota line was raining ice pellets. Pretty good size one. It was making the road pretty messy really quick. It stopped snowing by the time I got to the post office, and then it started snowing again right as I got ready to leave. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to run to the drop yard. It's over there near that. And I said, all right, I'm just going to go there and call it a day. And that's where I got to. I booked this load here Friday. So it's not the greatest paying load, but it is a long load. The one I'm on now, it goes from Minneapolis to South Carolina. Nice long run to finish up the weekend. Like I said, it's a very average paying load, but I got a little method to the madness on that because, fuel's cheaper in South Carolina. So when I come out of there, I can fuel up cheap. And, I was talking to a guy at the terminal the other day about some good customers because he's been here longer than me. And he said they got a couple good ones in the South Carolina area. Was specifically one of the areas he talked about. So I didn't complain too much about this one. It is heavy. It's 42,000 pounds, right under 42,000 pounds. So, that is what it is. You got to deal with that as it comes. You got to take the heavy ones with the light ones, I guess. So anyway, this is a long run. Get it done Tuesday morning, then we'll see what comes after that. But anyway, guys, done with the rambling here. I had a comment the other day that I'm an old windbag, and this video may prove them right, So I'm going to hop off here now, and take care of each other out there, everybody. Later.